Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do chapter 3 in this book. Following my videos about clefs, I'm going to do the exercises relating to alto clef in this book. Don't forget to share and like this video, and if you have anything to say, any comments, any tips, any questions, please leave a comment or send me an email. I hope this is useful. Enjoy it! Ciao! In exercise number 1, we are asked to name the notes which would form a word. This is much easier than it seems, because if you know the notes in the treble clef, you can add 1 and have the note name straight away. So let's try to do this. La becomes si, re becomes mi, sol, la, do, re, re, mi, and do, re. There you go. That's the word. The next box, straightforward. Sol, la, si, do, re, mi, do, re. Aced. Very quickly. La, do, mi, re. Faced. Do, la, si, la, si, sol, la, fa, sol, re, mi. Cabbage. It's as simple as that. Don't make things complicated. In this case, if you want to double check, you can always count from middle C, okay? That will take you a while, but you will still get to the right answer. In my way of doing it is to do this transposition by eye, which means that C becomes do, sol becomes la. So I don't read them anymore as in their with their treble clef name, but I go straight to +1 each time. If you want to revise this technique, you can always double check and watch again my video about clefs 1D, how to read in all the clefs. In there, I explain this transposition by eye, doing mathematical addition or subtraction very easily. For now, we move on to exercise 2. In this exercise 2, we need to tick the box which indicates the clef that would give the name indicated to the note. In other words, we should answer the question, which clef would give this note this name? If you have watched my videos about clefs, in particular 1A, I do say that each clef gives the same note a different name, because in music there are 7 clefs, and go and watch the video if you don't remember them or if you don't know them. Because there are 7 clefs, we have for the same note 7 different names. So as many as the notes are, the musical notes are. So it is impossible to name a note if we don't put a clef. Now, to read in different clefs, we can relate the note names to the treble clef. and we can do a simple maths operation. Alto clef is treble clef plus 1. Bass clef is the treble clef plus 2. If you remember this exercise becomes a piece of cake. This in the treble clef would be Do plus 2 E, so bass clef. We don't have to write the clef in here, but I'm going to write it just to double check. In bass clef, the 2 dots indicate where F is. So Fa is on the 4th line, the one below is E, so this is just to double check. However, in this exercise, we only need to tick. Let's go to the next one. To call this Mi, we have to go 1 up from the treble clef, because in treble clef this will be D plus 1 E. So it's plus 1 is alto clef. Now, if I write an alto clef here, just for us to check, middle C is where the 2 bubbles meet here. So Do, Re, Mi, and that's Mi. So it's all correct. I'm going to rub out the clefs because I don't want to confuse you with an extra thing. The exercise doesn't ask us to do this. So, okay, to call this note F, easy peasy, we must be in the treble clef. This one here, in this one here, the note is called D. And let's see if in the treble clef the note has the same note. So when we have the ledger lines, if you're not sure, you can double check by counting. Sol is just above the stave. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re. So this is actually Re in treble clef. So we don't need to do anything but just ticking the treble clef box. The following one, C sharp. Okay, this in the treble clef would be read B. So B plus 1 is C, and in this case there is a sharp, so C sharp. Plus 1 is alto clef. For this one here, I'm not sure about the ledger lines. Okay, so I count. Do is here, middle C, in the treble clef. Okay, Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa. This is F, would be F in the treble clef. F plus 2 equals A, so this is bass clef. Let's go to our last line. This note here would be called B in treble clef, but we must call it C in this case. So B plus 1 equals C, plus 1 is alto clef. On the following one, we have lots of ledger lines. Let's count. Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi. That's an E flat already. So we can definitely tick the treble clef box. And the last one, in the treble clef, this would be called D. But because we want an E, we must add 1. And to add 1, we must put the alto clef. As you can see, this kind of exercise is very, very easy if you do a mathematical operation starting from the treble clef. And I'm saying the treble clef because this is the most common clef in music. Music theory starts with the treble clef. So the treble clef notes are the most common ones and the most well-known ones. I hope this helps, and for now I move on to the next exercise in this book for grade 4. Exercise number 3. They ask us to write the note in a different clef, but we must keep the same pitch. This means that we can't change octaves. As we can see from the first example, the two notes sit in two very different positions. And this is because each clef in music is used for different registers, so that we can use the stave, the same stave, to write notes that are further down on the piano keyboard or high up. So let's see. The most important thing here that is also reminded here in the smart tip is to refer everything to the middle C. This is always the case with the clefs. The middle C in the alto clef is where the two B bubbles of the B meet. So exactly the center of the stave here. This B here is further apart, okay? It's nearly an octave higher than middle C. In the treble clef, middle C will be here. In the alto clef, middle C is here. So we expect this note to be higher up. So from here we can count. I personally go an octave higher and then one down. So an octave higher would be here. We need a ledger line. An octave higher would be here. And one down is on the ledger line. So here. Shall we double check? Why not? We want to be extremely sure. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. And there you go, that this is C. You can write something outside of the box, because in the exam paper we only mark what is in the box, the actual answer. Any other notes that you write are not marked and would not affect your final mark. I'm going to rub it out now just because I don't want to confuse you guys. Okay, C. This is middle C. This note is above middle C, and we expect it to be somewhere here, but let's count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps higher than middle C. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I want to know the name of the note. Personally, I find it easier if I relate the circle to an actual name. So I want to know what this note is. This is Sol, G. Okay, so let's count Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. So I just write a Sol in the treble clef. And we know that Sol is on the same line of the starting point of the treble clef. If you want to revise these things, there is a very useful group of videos that you can watch. They are called musical clefs, and it's 1A, 1B, 1C. And in 1D, I actually say something that is very useful for this exercise. It's one of the memorhymes that I've created, and it says, if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? This is because if we would write this G up here, that would make this answer incorrect because the octave is different. They want us to keep the same pitch. Therefore, where you write it on the stave does make the difference. If you would ask an instrument like a contrabass to play this note, it wouldn't be possible. So it is important to write the notes in the right octaves. Okay. Let's move on. D. Okay, so this note has got ledger lines, so I want to be absolutely sure. So I count from the ledger lines. This is Do in bass clef. So Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. This is G flat, okay? I'm going to write it here. Sol flat. Where? Above middle C, because middle C is here. So middle C is here. I count 5 steps from middle C. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. There you go. Let's move on to the next one. This note here is Mi flat, and I know this because it's treble clef plus 1, but let's count anyway. Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, E flat. Now, this is below middle C. So below middle C in bass clef, middle C is here. Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi. Mi, and I add a flat, and this is important. Let's try not to miss the accidentals, because if we miss the accidentals, we actually change the pitch, and they want us to keep the pitch the same. So again, we go back to what we said earlier on in this video. We must be careful over the details, because they are as important as the main thing. Let's move on. This is below middle C, straight away we can say it, and it's a G. And if we want, we can count Do, Si, La, Sol. So G sharp. G sharp below middle C is here. And you can count from middle C here on the ledger line. B, sorry, I don't know the names. So Do, Si, La, Sol. Okay? Does this make sense, guys? Are you finding this helpful, this counting? Let me know in the comments. Okay, this note here is below middle C because middle C is down here. So let's count with the ledger lines. Do, Si, La, Sol. That's a G. Now, below middle C, Do, Si, La, Sol. We count in the same way, and we find that this note has the same sound of this. Easy peasy. Now, the penultimate one, this is Do sharp, okay? Fa, Mi, Re, Do. We can count from 5 we need. Do sharp. And where is middle C? It's up here. So it's an octave lower than middle C. So middle C is here, and I go an octave lower, and I add an essential sharp to make it the same. Mi, far above the middle C. So here, you can see also here that the box is higher up. So be smart when you do these things. We don't expect the note to be down here, but to be up. So it's 1 octave above plus 2 steps. So from here is 1 octave above plus 2 steps, 1 octave above, 1 and 2. So it's here. Because I want to be extremely sure, I would just count. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, Mi. And that's an E. Okay. I hope this was useful. For now, I move on. But if you need, let me know in the comments if you need any help, extra help, and I will create another video for you.